Former senator from Georgia and chairwoman of Great Georgia, Kelly Loeffler, joins me now. Senator, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Great to be with you.
What should President Biden be doing about soaring fuel prices right now?
Well, his actions should match his words, and they certainly don't right now. He's following a risky and radical policy. He's bowing to the left, the green energy lobby. Simply releasing 1 million barrels a day from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve only puts us at more risk in terms of national security without solving the problems of pricing. That's about a day and a half's worth of the world's oil consumption. It's barely going to move the needle, if at all, sustainably. So Americans are hurting, and he's giving lip service, trying to score political talking points with a policy that just runs through November, coincidentally, and will do nothing to strengthen our energy independence. And in the meantime, we're still sending money to Russia for oil. Even though the sanctions have been announced, they haven't started. And so the Biden administration needs to be tougher and stop fueling these big government solutions and let the oil and gas sector drill.
President Biden doesn't seem interested in upsetting the progressive left of his party. Are you convinced he will take decisive action on this major problem at some point?
Well, I would hope he would, because he has a duty to the American people to keep us safe and to keep our economy and our country strong and prosperous. He's not shown a will to do that. And in fact, his administration has conducted over 81 measures that are putting the boot on the neck of the oil and gas industry. And that's what's hurt the American family, not just at the gas pump and in terms of their electric heating bills, but at the grocery store.
Sure.
And we have a coming food shortage as well that he's acknowledged. And so if we don't get to work on these problems and he shows a will to stand up to the green energy lobby, we're going to be in really deep trouble later this year. As
you mentioned, the big problem with high fuel prices is it impacts everything. If it costs more to move products into a community, those higher transportation costs can get folded into virtually everything we buy. So that sounds like it's going to make our inflation problem even worse. Is that right?
Well, we're going to see rampant inflation this year. I spent nearly 2 decades in the energy markets. I know that we're going to continue to see high energy prices, but we're also going to continue to see food prices spiking. Oil and gas prices are up about 50% this year, but we've got things like corn and soybeans up 20%. And the inputs that go into that, the diesel fuel, the fertilizer, the chemicals that are all petrol-based, those are going to continue to go up and make it harder for farmers around the world to produce food and harder for consumers to get the food that they need. We're already seeing that in lesser developed countries that are going to the IMF and the World Bank asking for assistance for food.
So you have that background in the energy commodity markets. What's the overall impact of these issues on our nation's economy?
Well, it's dire, because if you have a strong economy, that's generally driven by affordable, accessible, reliable energy. It fuels manufacturing, it fuels transportation, it fuels certainty in terms of investment. And we employ hundreds of thousands of individuals around the world in terms of the oil and gas sector, millions around the world, hundreds of thousands in America. So we could have this blue-collar boom that happened under President Trump when he unleashed America's energy strength. We became energy independent. We reduced our emissions below the Paris Climate Accord requirements, even though we weren't a part of it. And we were able to deliver these solutions while becoming an energy supplier to the world. It would enable us to get off of Russia, Iran, Venezuela, and to stand up to China, who's now partnering with Russia. So Biden's policies are dangerous. He's hiding behind Putin. That is not typical of an American president, to blame things on someone else when we're the ones in control.
Former Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler, thanks for your time and your analysis.
Thank you, Mike.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.